Hello and welcome to this new video. In the previous videos, we implemented and integrated all the features offered by EOS. In this video, we're going to start a new topic, which is crossplay with EOS Plus. EOS Plus enables crossplay between platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Switch and mobile with relative ease, making it much simpler for developers to allow players on different platforms to play together. You can integrate features like shared friends lists, matchmaking, and more across platforms. EOS Plus offers a dedicated matchmaking service, which can help with creating fair and balanced matches. EOS supports account linking across platforms, so players can log in and carry over their progression on multiple devices. To show you the features of EOS Plus, I want to, in this section, run the project on Steam while the default platform is EOS Plus and the native platform is Steam. Be careful, our OSS will still be EOS, but the storefront will be Steam. It's important not to confuse EOS Plus as the default platform with Steam as the default platform. In the next section, we'll see how to start the project on Steam as the default platform. The idea of this section is to take advantage of EOS Plus to scale the game across two platforms, so players from the Epic Store can play with Steam players. When integrating EOS Plus with Steam, you're essentially combining Epic Online Services, EOS, for multiplayer and online features with the Steam platform's distribution and community tools. EOS can provide back-end services such as crossplay, matchmaking and cloud saves, while Steam provides the storefront, user profiles, achievements, and social features like friends lists and chat. To begin, the first thing to do is duplicate the project, because when you use EOS Plus, you will have two distributions of your game, one distribution for the Epic Games Store, where the default platform is EOS, and one distribution for the Steam Store, where the default platform is EOS Plus. Rename the folder containing our project so that it represents the target platform. After this change, I need to fix the command lines used to launch client instances. Now, duplicate the project to adapt it for EOS Plus with Steam. Once done, rename the folder to represent the target platform. I will delete the client commands because for Steam, the connection is not made through the dev tool. We'll see later how to launch the game. I want to fix the command launching a dedicated server since the path to the project needs to change. To allow a player to connect to the game, we need to configure a Steam-type identity provider in our dev portal. When using Epic Online Services, EOS with Steam, an important component is the identity provider that manages user authentication. The identity provider allows players to authenticate their Steam accounts and link them to Epic Games' EOS services, which is essential for features like crossplay, cloud saves, and account linking across platforms. Choose Steam as the identity provider and then provide a description. Starting from Steam SDK version 1.57, which is used by Unreal Engine 5.4, Steam replaced the encryption key method with session tickets. In my case, I don't need to change anything there. You now need to provide your Steam app ID here. For me, I want to show my own Steam app ID. Throughout this tutorial, I will be using my own Steam app ID. You can use the app ID 480 for Space War, but I cannot guarantee that everything will work properly with this dev app ID. If you want to obtain your own Steam app ID, go to the Steamworks site and pay the submission fee to register your app. We now need to associate the identity provider with a sandbox, so it will be the dev sandbox. Don't forget to associate it with the production sandbox when you move to production. It is recommended to update your Steamworks SDK. You can download the latest SDK from the Steamworks website. I don't want to do it in this video since I plan to do it in the next section when we launch our project on Steam as the default platform. The idea is to avoid doing the same thing twice. Now, launch the editor. What we're going to do is activate the Steam plugin to integrate the Steam OSS into our game. Type the word Steam, and then activate the plugins. Restart the editor. Go to the project settings, then the EOS configuration. We want to enable the EOS Plus options. Make sure these two checkboxes are checked. These two options are used to enable account linking. This way, a Steam account will be linked to an Epic account for Steam players. Enable all crossplay options. Stat mirroring means that the EOS stat will be updated if the Steam player has updated a Steam stat. The condition is to have the same stat name on both platforms. The same applies for achievement mirroring. Use crossplay sessions is essential so that a Steam player can create and join an EOS session. You can also mirror presence to EOS. It is worth noting that the Steam plugin does not support the Unreal Engine stat interface. We will see later how you can interact with Steam stats via Easy OSS. We now want to configure the project to use EOS Plus as the default platform and Steam as the native platform. So, go to your config.ini file. Go to the Steam Plugins online configuration and select the version of your editor. On this page, you'll find all the necessary configurations to set up the plugin for your project. Note that this page assumes you're configuring Steam as the default platform, so we will ignore some configurations since we want Steam to be the native platform. Go to the online documentation of the EOS plugin, then search for the EOS Plus configuration. Copy the EOS Plus configurations and paste them into your config.ini file. Replace the default platform service so that it will be EOS Plus instead of EOS. Copy this line to specify that Steam is the native platform. Copy this configuration so that the game accepts matchmaking between EOS players and EOS Plus players. Note that you must also add this configuration to the EOS project if you want an EOS player to be able to play with an EOS Plus player. We now want to configure the Steam plugin. We don't want to copy the net driver configuration since we need to keep the EOS net driver. Copy this configuration and paste it into your file, changing the dev app ID. Note that with EOS Plus, we use its networking and not Steam's networking. To do this, you need to specify in the Steam plugin configuration that we're not using Steam networking. The last thing to do is install Steam on the PC, otherwise we can't test the game. The issue with Steam is that we can't test multiple client instances on the same PC since we can't run multiple instances of the Steam application. To set up a second Steam player, I will provide the VMware solution in the next video. Once installed, log in with a Steam account that is part of your organization, otherwise the authentication to the game will fail. This can be done by inviting the Steam account to your organization from your Steamworks dashboard in the Users and Permissions section. I have two Steam accounts to use in this tutorial. The first is named crossplay_player1 and the second is crossplay_player2. You can change the account name by editing the profile in the Steam application. We can now launch the game. First, make sure that Steam is running in the background. Before launching the game, we need to change the login method. We no longer use autologin. Instead, we need to use task login. You can leave the account credentials empty. Steam does not work if you launch the game in the editor, but you can launch it in standalone mode. Launch the game in standalone mode, then wait for it to start. There you go. We can clearly see the Steam social overlay on the login page. Click on Login. There you go. You are prompted to link the Steam account to an Epic account. Here, you need to log in with an Epic account that is part of your EOS organization. This step will be required from the player only once. And there you go, our game is running in crossplay mode. The Steam player was able to connect to the game, and we can clearly see the EOS social overlay as well. However, there's one thing to fix. We can see that the player name is correctly displayed as crossplay_player1, but the name above the character is the Epic account name. This is because we use the getPlayerAccount function when creating the player card. In fact, there are two interfaces to interact with the player's account. The account interface, which always returns the EOS account information, and the identity interface, which returns the Steam account information since the identity is Steam. It's up to you to decide which account name to display in the game. In this tutorial, I want to use the Steam account name. Similarly, for the user ID, in the case of EOS Plus, the ID is in the form of Steam ID plus EOS ID. To display the correct EOS Plus ID, we need to use the identity interface instead of the account interface. You can use Shift plus Tab to display the Steam social overlay. The external UIs are now those of Steam. Regarding friends, we can clearly see that the EOS account friends are linked to the Steam account friends. If you try to create a lobby session, the game will crash. This is because there's a bug in the EOS plugin. I will show you later how to fix it. If you click on Logout, the task will show a false error. The logout process will work fine, but EOS Plus will return a false callback. This is a limitation on the EOS side. I will show you how to ignore this error. Since the player is logged out, if you relaunch the game, you will be prompted to link the Steam account again. You can link it to a different Epic account. There you go, the Steam account is linked to a different Epic account. I will log out because I want crossplay player 1 to be linked to Epic account player 1. I now want to fix the player card implementation to use the information from the identity interface instead of the account interface. The getPlayerAccount node is a function of the account interface, so instead, we can use the functions getOSSPlayerUniqueID and getOSSPlayerNickname. If you relaunch the game again, you will see the difference. You can relaunch the game by right-clicking on the project file and then clicking on Launch Game. If you want to launch the game in windowed mode, follow me to set the command. Give the correct level name, then replace server with game, and finally remove the Epic app, as it is no longer used. And there you go, we now have the Steam account information in the game. We can also see the correct EOS Plus ID. It's the Steam ID plus the Epic account ID and the EOS product user ID. That's all for this video, see you in the next one.